The NFL's best head to Hawaii to strut their stuff in football's all-star show. It's the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl next Sunday night on ABC.
The Magic Kingdom here at Walt Disney World, not all that far away across the Seven Seas Lagoon and the Polynesian Contemporary, the other great resorts here. Our overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. At the control, Captain Dick A. from Pompano Beach, Florida. There she is, floating overhead. Well, the leader of the race, the bright red 12 car, that's Calkins. He's got a strong lead on second place, but Buddy Lazier-Jack has had his problems.
Well, Paul, as we reported during the pit stop, it was a front carrier hub. They tried to fix it. They tightened it up. It has vibrated loose again. Lazier came in, got out of the car, and this is the kind of racing we're seeing. They said, get back in the car. We've got a team car from Stefan Gregoire. We'll take the front hub assembly off of there. We'll put it on yours and give you some more laps.
I don't think I've ever seen that. So they're going to pull a hub carrier from Gregoire's car, put it forward onto Lazier's and put him back in. You're going to lose so much time. Why would
I did that in Indianapolis in 1966.
I'm talking modern times.
Well, okay, modern time. Doesn't happen.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is he's getting out there. There's not that many cars that are going to be in the field. They want to get the points. It doesn't matter if he's 20 laps down. He could still finish in the top 10, 12. If some other people have some problems, he gets those points. He carries them in the field.
Yeah, we got to remember
the championship. Don't forget.
This is the road to Indy right here.
So Calkins, a graduate of the University of Colorado, 24 years old from Denver, is out in front.
I think something else we're seeing, and Jack touched on it at the beginning, was that we got not only rookies out on the track, but we got some rookies behind the wall. And I think we're seeing that these guys are dealing with these cars the first time. Some of them are having troubles getting some of the things worked out, like this upright, like the thing that happened to Richie Hearns, that maybe a line came loose. All that stuff's new to these guys.
But, you know, in all fairness, Danny, Lazier's mechanics, that's Ronnie Dodge. He's been there for years. He's a good chief mechanic.
All right, tonight on ABC, it's the Jeff Foxworthy Show, Redneck. And then, at a special time, 8:30, 7:30 Central, Patrick Stewart and Party of Five's Nev Campbell star in The Canterville Ghost on Saturday night at the movies. That's all tonight here on ABC.
You know, one thing that we also were talking about earlier was the fuel. And Tony Stewart went to 71 laps, including the passing laps, everything that he did. So if he goes to 140, he's got no problem to make it to the finish.
Well, he went long enough to where it looks like if he keeps going like that, he'll make it, Danny. But remember, he had to cut way back on the power in order to make it.
That's right.
Eddie Cheever still struggling, 4 laps behind the leader in 13th, Jackaroot.
And Paul, the report again, he continues to complain of a loose condition. Now, that car was built specifically for this coming Indianapolis 500. It was a 95 car that they were going to hold back the team. They bought it brand new at the end of the year. They had to use it today. Let me show you something. This is the onboard telemetry receiving station for all of John Menard's 3 cars. But here's the problem. When Tony Stewart is out front, they don't have a monitor. Here is the sending unit for the team. He gets the information, runs all the way down here, delivers it to the crew chief, and then says, we've got to pit in 1, 2, whatever it may be. Shades of the past again.
Well, a combination of low and high tech there in the Menard stable.
Besides, good exercise.
Calkins still in the lead now by nearly 20 seconds, followed by Stewart, Guerrero, Mike Croft moving up into 4th place, then Stan Waddles, Michele Alboreto, Davey Hamilton, Scott Sharp, Robbie Buell, and Ari Leyendijk. That's the top 10 for you. As we've had 1 yellow today as a result of Richie Hearns' smack with the wall. We'll return with more of the IRL's Indy 200 at Walt Disney World after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Walt Disney World Speedway. There are 103 laps to go. We're approaching the halfway point. Dwayne Sweeney will be giving them that crossed flags to show them the halfway point. The drivers like the 6th place Michele Alboreto. You drive with him now. He's moved up nicely. Was up to 3rd just before the stops. Back in 6th right now. Another driver we're keeping track of today is Johnny O'Connell. Solid road racer. There he is in that white number 75 car, 3 laps behind the lead.
Same color as Roberto Guerrero's car. This boy comes from Phoenix, Arizona. Drives a driving school down there. Been doing that for years, trying for Bob Bondurant, trying to get in IndyCars. This is his first car. He called me a little while back and he says, what do you think, Bobby? We're going to be a little bit close to try to make that race. I said, make it no matter what it takes. You need the experience. He's already up to 11th place.
Lynn St. James has been in and out of the pit several times in the last few minutes. She's currently 13th. And then there's Stefan Gregoire that's kind of given up his car to a friend. Jack?
Stefan, what eventually put you out of this race?
My gearbox broken, so we are not lucky because I did a great race, very carefully, very safe, and so it's racing.
Let's check in with Gary Gerald.
Johnny Parsons is here, and here's a driver who's been battling Paul in a 1993 chassis designed for super speedways, not mile ovals. You had a handful, didn't you, JP?
Yeah, and the guys have worked real hard to try and get the car comfortable for us, even though we're at a slower speed. And, you know, that's unfortunate, but I'm sure we'll be good at Speedway.
Tell us about the future. How is this all going to work in the big picture in your mind?
IRL's just, you know, this is the first season and it's growing. It's going to get nothing but better from here on. Everybody's really excited about it. You know, this is a big event. I'm really happy to be a part of it. Wish we could have been a little bit faster, but I guess every driver will tell you that, won't he?
It was contact with Buddy Lazier that damaged the suspension. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Paul?
So there's Calkins, 18.5 seconds now ahead of Tony Stewart. Only 2 cars on the lead lap as we've just crossed the halfway point.
My guess is with Stewart's car that they're gambling, much like Danny said earlier, on going to the end of the race and having enough fuel to unleash all that Menard horsepower. Hope they have the tire combination, enough fuel, and the engine running good to pull ahead of Calkins at that time.
6 lead changes thus far among 6 drivers.
Well, Jack also said something interesting there, that Johnny Parsons had contact with Buddy Lazier, which might have damaged that right front. That might have been the cause that worked everything loose.
It certainly could. It certainly could.
In 6th place now, the 14 car, famous A.J. Foyt car. There he is, Davey Hamilton, Jack Root.
And Paul, what a terrific story. Not only hooking up with A.J. Foyt, but for Davey Hamilton, a veteran of super modified racing all across this country. His best friend and his roommate in super modified racing, Billy Vukovich III, who preceded him into IndyCar competition and ran the Indianapolis 500 for a couple of years. Vuki met his untimely death in Bakersfield, California back in 1990. But Davey Hamilton never forgot that he wanted to carry the torch back to Indianapolis and IndyCar competition for his departed friend. On the back of Davey Hamilton's helmet is a simple phrase, in memory and to remember, Vuki 3.
Now, there are many fond thoughts for Vuki.
Don't you know that
racing family?
Don't you know this is just the type of guy that Foyt would pick to drive the number 14 car too?
Oh, without question. Remember him at the Copper World Classic? I mean, he was super. Now in the 14 car of A.J. Foyt, what a proud moment that is for him to be able to carry those colors. Well, it is still Calkins out in front of Stewart. Guerrero is 3rd.